Hey, Soul Zulu. I just wanted to talk about, in my last video I was talking about Uncle Tom's and that kind of stuff, like I talked about a little bit, and I just thought I should go into it more deeply. Okay, so ever since slavery, there's always been what I like to call Uncle Tom Negroes, which are basically those that defend white people and in many cases act more white than actual white people. Now, I think the first question we've got to answer is, what is acting white? You know, is there a way that white people should act? Is there a way that black people should act? In both cases, I have to say no, but there are certain things that we have to do. I mean, to respect our race and our culture. I mean, first thing, black people should have a knowledge of self. You know, they should know where they come from and be proud to be black. And that kind of thing. I mean, back in slavery, this house Negro, as Malcolm X put it, he said the house Negro was different to the field Negro. The house Negro would defend the master for everything he's done. He said, we live right, we've got it okay, we don't really need to be free because we've got it okay right here. You know, when the master was sick, the house Negro would say that we sick, you know, we sick. He would love his master, while the field Negro would, you know, despise his master, that kind of stuff. Anyway, even today we have many of these Uncle Toms, people that jump in to defend the white man before the white man has even known he's been insulted. I mean, when the Nation of Islam was out there, and you know, Martin Luther King and that kind of stuff in the 60s, there was a lot of these Christian black people that were defending the white people, you know, accusing the Nation of Islam of racism and Malcolm X race and that kind of stuff. Anyway, today in our society, there's many Uncle Toms out there. I mean, those that you know, they get rich or they move out of the black community. They you know, they marry white people. They hang out with white people. That kind of stuff. But I think what we do sometimes as black people, we insult those who become rich and we call them Uncle Toms when in fact they are actually respectful of their race. I mean, for I could just say, if I was living in the ghettos or the hood, and I got rich and I moved out of the hood, but I still kept my dignity. You know, I was still proud to be black. I think many of black people sometimes we insult people that are our own black people that are being successful. But yeah, Uncle Tom people. Okay, I've encountered a lot of Uncle Toms in my life. I mean, I don't want to name names, obviously, but I mean, Uncle Tom is very easy to spot because they will act white. You know, they will hang out with white people. They will know little to nothing about their race. They believe that their race is rubbish. They would rather be white. I mean, for me in Australia, living with some of the Africans, is that I mean, I've seen some of them who have been adopted, and they act like white. They don't know any culture. They want to take you down. You know, they want any sort of stereotypes. They want to just, you know, destroy any part of themselves that's black. I think a lot of this came from this kind of stuff, like where they would be straightening their hair. You know, the conch that Malcolm X talked about in the biography, like how black people would straighten their hair to try and be more white, present white, that kind of thing. But anyway, I also like to talk about my experiences with these Uncle Toms. Is that okay? My views are to some extent controversial, you know, and I mean, many black people many of these Uncle Toms have come up to me, arguing with me, telling me I've insulted the white person, you know, that kind of thing. Just you know, just outright insulted me, and they're always behind the white person. It annoys me how black people, we can act like this, how we could despise our race. But I mean, I've got to talk about it. I mean, two sides of the coin. I mean, there's the Uncle Tom, but there's also those black people that act like gangsters. They try to live up to a stereotype. I mean, that's another argument, but I have to explain that. I have to talk about that too. I mean, there's the Uncle Toms, and there's those who believe that black people have to believe in a certain way. I mean, it's complicated. I'll tell you that. I mean, you know, how can we be ourselves if we're black? Is there something we have to live up to? It's a hard choice. I mean, the line is merged, but I mean, it's very easy to spot Uncle Tom. You know, the Uncle Tom, if he is hit, he will turn the other cheek. You know, he will take it. He will say, you know, whatever, I've been hurt. I'm not gonna lower myself down to the level or something like that. You know, I mean, there's many out there. I mean, even today, you will still meet a lot of black people that will insult Malcolm X and other militant, you know, the Black Panthers, that kind of thing. They'll be insulting them. Anyway, it just makes me sick. Also, in history, if we look, if okay, we have to really. It's kind of hard sometimes to distinguish with Uncle Tom. I mean, if we're looking at Booker T. Washington, some of his views had Uncle Tom values. That I mean, in Booker T. Washington's book, Up from Slavery, he talked. It was a particular passage, you know, where he said he was talking about white supremacists and things like that, and he said at the end of the paragraph that I've only brought up white supremacy to show how far we have come in the world, and that no white supremacist organization arises today. Now that was late in the 19th century. He said that there's no white supremacist group, which is obviously wrong. And he, in many cases, would deny racism and say that we are progressing as a race. But I mean, for him as a person, I mean, he did a lot for black people, but he had some sort of Uncle Tom values. Is he an Uncle Tom or not? It's a hard decision to make. But I mean, there's a lot of Uncle Toms out there even today. I mean, look, look at your TV presenters. You look at your white TV presenters. Most of them Uncle Toms. Look at your characters like your figures like Beyonce. You know, puts makeup on, light makeup on. You know, straightens her hair. Tries to do everything to appear whiter. It's a shame. They try, you know, to appeal to the white media, that kind of stuff. But I'm just say this. I'm just saying Uncle Toms, they're terrible. They're the worst thing. We have to get rid of them. I mean, we have to make sure that black people have knowledge of self and do not act like this, because it only builds more black on black hatred to each other. Because I mean, like I said, on one side we've got the Uncle Toms, on the other side we've got these black people that believe they have to live up to a stereotype. That's another video. I'll make the video soon about, you know, black people that believe they have to live up to a certain stereotype. We have to act a certain way. But we have to look at Uncle Toms. You know, those who have no respect for their own culture would rather be white, and it sickens me. It sickens me to my stomach, because they are those that they're holding our race back. To tell you the truth. And like I said, I know a lot of them. I know a lot of Uncle Toms, and I mean, another question is, how should we treat them? You know, if they're gonna act like that. When Uncle Toms and other Christian sort of organizations were insulting the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad said that we should that Malcolm X should not throw in insults back. He should, you know, take it and say whatever, because if we fight amongst ourselves, it will only create what the white person wants. So for a long time, Malcolm X didn't say anything towards the other black leaders of the day, you know, Uncle Toms, and he didn't. And in the end, he had to, because they were, you know, insulting him so much. But really, I don't know. I don't know how to treat it, because I mean, do we be nice to them? Do we reject them completely? It's a hard topic, and I can't really say. All I can give is the information about it. It's up to you to decide. Anyway, if you got any comments, just put it in the comments below. If you got any ideas for a video for me to make, just holler at me and everything. Alright, this is Soul Zulu. Peace.